Hi, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and we're answering a question from Noyes. Very common thing that happens to people when they're doing a kettlebell clean, they're beating the crap out of the back of their arm. Related usually to three things. Related to the angle of your wrist. If your wrist is bent in a barbell technique, you're definitely going to slam into the back of your arm. Second thing it's related to is not rotating the arm in a spiral. They're flipping the arm up and the weight is coming around and smacking into the back of their hand. Third thing is probably using a barbell grip across the top of your palm instead of a kettlebell grip across the 45. Oh, it can also be related to your elbow, which is related to the pull over the top part. When you're doing a kettlebell clean, what we want to get is this vertical line, right? If that line is deviated, then we're probably going to have a problem immediately, right? Most people are not comfortable doing this because the weight is supposed to rest on the back of your arm, right? This is supposed to be that nice, strong, flat line. And if it's not, it's instantly going to beat you up right here, right? And if your elbow is out, it's also going to do the same thing. So we're trying to get that elbow in and that wrist out in order to create those vertical lines, right? You can bring them all the way in for double kettlebell technique, but you're gonna wrap your body all the way around to make that flat line. Single arm clean is probably more important though, because you're gonna get cross-body stabilization, you'll get more out of it. So, you're gonna have those feet directly underneath you. The hand's gonna be out in front, the thumb is gonna be pointed back, you're gonna push the weight back. The elbow is gonna stay close to the hip, and you're gonna roll your body up. This is not a bicep curl. People wanna turn this into a bicep curl, and they wanna go, doesn't work, right? Just like a barbell clean is not a reverse curl, you're using your hips and momentum in order to get the weight up, and you're catching at the top. You just have a different alignment for kettlebells than you do for barbells. So it's back here, push it back, snap it up, and bring it up here. This is where people hit themselves. You'll notice there is a speed change. Fast, and then it slows down here at the top. The weight is moving around my hand, not over my hand. If you go over your hand, you're gonna get that big bump. So, to go down, turn, turn. So that hand is coming up and rotating. Rotating. Same thing on the way down. Out, rotate, down. Right? If you're trying to snap it up like a reverse curl, then the weight's gonna come around the top and it's gonna hit you in the hand. That would look probably like this. That sucks. Don't do that. Around. Right? Getting that strong position. Next thing it could be is not having this correct angle. High, low, low. 3 points of contact, right? If you're trying to catch like this, you're gonna be missing this point of contact down here where the handle should be on that bone, right? You're trying to catch like this, you're gonna notice it just doesn't work very well. It's not gonna slide. So we're trying to get that 45-degree angle of the hand. If your wrist is bent into that barbell wrist, instantly not gonna feel good, right? So as that thing comes up, it rotates around and it's gonna be flat. Nice and flat, right through there. So when you're learning this and people are hitting themselves, they get into this position, bah! Lift that kettlebell up, adjust it to the correct position, and then practice the negative. Down, boom. They fuck it up again, get that angle, fix it, work on the down. Until they figure out that down movement is the same as the up movement, right? So get it up into position. If you're up here, lift up the bell, adjust it down, restart, and then start from that position. Okay, so it could be your wrist, it could be your grip, it could be going over the top, so a flat line instead of a rotating line. It could be driving the elbow way too far out and then pulling it too far back, right? Boom. Right, too big. Elbow should stay really close to your body. Right? So elbow shouldn't move very far. So there are 4 reasons you could be smacking your arm on the kettlebell clean. If your clean is good, then your press is probably good. Let's talk about press really quick. You'll see people who come from barbell and they want to do their presses right from here with that compromised wrist and then go up and catching at the top. We don't want that. Same thing, we're going to maintain that wrist position all the way through. So it's here, the elbow is going to drive up, and the wrist is still going to be in the same place. The handle is still at that 45-degree angle, and it's going to come all the way back down. Right? This is like a sport kettlebell technique where you tuck your fingers in. Hard style technique would be a crush grip, right? But you're still going to have that 45-degree angle in the handle, and you're still going to have that flat wrist, right? If this is happening, you're not going to be able to recover it to get back into here. There are a couple of other fancy techniques that sport kettlebell guys use where their hand looks like it's bent, but it's not. What they're doing is resting the kettlebell on top of these bones and moving their hand out of the way, right? As opposed to a hard style technique where they're holding it solid. They're both still have a straight line up out of the kettlebell. The kettlebell is not off of the center line of their bone. This has been Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica with a discussion of don't hit yourself in the arm with a kettlebell. Yeah.